Hey, my name is Jared Moon, and I'm part of a group of underground athletes you've probably never even heard of before. We don't rely on fancy equipment for training, and most of us don't even have gym memberships. In fact, our motivation comes from within. You see, we have jobs, families, and responsibilities, but we still have big goals, and they aren't getting achieved at a global gym. For that reason, we have to do things differently. Our training has to be smarter. We don't have every piece of equipment known to man or a ton of time to train, and we don't need it, because we are achieving amazing things without it. So how do we do it? If you ask your average personal trainer or gym goer, they'd call us crazy. Yet we're seeing results better than most every single day. And it's happening by blending mental training with physical training and becoming an athlete. What we call, and welcome to, Garage Gym Athlete.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete podcast. Jared Moon here with Joe Courtney. What's up, Joe?
Hello.
And we have Ryan McDaniel today. What's up, Ryan?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Going
Cool.
well on my end, man. So let's get an intro. Obviously, we know your name, but if you could give us a little background, what you do for a living and how you train.
So I am a mechanical engineer and I work in the aerospace industry, Gulfstream Aerospace specifically. I train in my garage at home. I dabbled in all different kind of sports, in high school, but wound up being more of a runner, track, cross country. Went to college, of course, did my days of bodybuilding type workouts.
As we all have.
Yes. And, started a family, whatever, started my career working out and got introduced to CrossFit in like 2015. And that kind of led me to you guys. And I've been working out with you guys since, I think, September 2015.
Yeah, you've been around for a while, man. That's awesome. And so what led you to opening your own gym in your garage?
Well, it stemmed from several things. I got injured and I had a kid on the way. So I wanted to save time, of course, save money, and just started, I think I was looking up DIY, plyo boxes or something like that, found you guys and just went from there, but mainly for convenience. I don't have to drive, because if I drive to the gym I was going to, it's like a good 25 minutes each way, then work out, then come home, less time with the family, et cetera, et cetera.
That's awesome, man. And you said you're into sports in high school. You primarily track, or did you play football? What were you doing?
Middle school, I dabbled in everything. I love baseball, so to play baseball, I kind of had to run cross country, and that led to track, and then I wound up not playing baseball. I wrestled, but yeah, primarily the sport I was best at was running. I was a region champion in 2 mile my senior year in high school, and I got second place in the mile.
Wow. I've never ran a two mile race, but that sounds pretty brutal.
Yes, it is. 8 very long laps.
Oof, laps too.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just confused. So you said you wanted to play baseball, so you had to do cross country. I don't know how that connects, because baseball is like the least bit of running sport to cross country the most.
Yeah, where I came from, it was just basically a way to stay in shape. A lot of guys did it. They didn't have to do it, but it was like, if you want to, be better off at, making the team or whatever, you need to run cross country. So that's kind of how I got introduced into it. But yeah, no, it's not really a thing, I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah, I got you. So just off-season training. I got you. All right, and
Right.
So you're in your garage right now. How about a quick
Yes.
tour, man? And some people are only listening, so call out the equipment, and anyone watching can see what you got.
All right. Yeah, I'm trying to look behind me.
You
I
bench
got a
against the
half
wall.
track. Yes. Well, we haven't used it lately in grit. It's been a lot of overhead presses. So, um, yeah, I started off with the half rack, bar, some plates. Actually, I started with the bar and plates first, but then I got the half rack. I got the box I was sitting on, which I can't, yeah, that guy. Made that 2-3 months ago, maybe.
Cool.
And we have a couple kettlebells and a couple dumbbells, a vest. That's really about it.
And the American flag, man.
And
It's awesome.
American flag and a jump rope and a couple bands
Nice cornhole sets.
Yeah.
and and wedding gift cornhole set.
Oh, same. I got the same thing, custom.
And how many kids do you have? One?
Two.
Two.
I have a 2-year-old that's 2 and 4 months, and then I have a 8-month-old, both boys.
Okay. Well, congratulations, man.
Thanks. Yes, it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I have a quick question for you. Did you struggle with your sleep schedule at all when they were maybe a little bit younger than they are now? But and were you a garage gym athlete at that time?
I was, because I started the garage gym pretty much, yeah, right before my first son was born. So sleep schedule, never really an issue. My first son, I'm very fortunate. I have a very good wife. She pretty much did everything. Honestly, I never really got interrupted sleep.
That's amazing.
Which both of our kids were pretty good. The second one, he had his moments, but now he's 8 months. He's got his first 2 teeth. So, but once he got past that, he's been sleeping good. Everything's been going well. So no, sleep is never really an issue for me.
That's awesome, dude. And so what's your overall goal right now in training?
And right now it's just staying consistent. Working out every day, just focusing on each day, not really looking too far ahead, because I kind of get caught up in that. I'm very competitive and like with myself. Same thing. Coming from endurance type running, I like to push myself really hard. Been known to injure myself, so just trying to stay healthy and consistent. Really, same thing. When my second son was born, it was like I was in peak condition. That was last June, and then after he was born, schedule kind of got interrupted a little bit, and for like the next 6 months, I was very sporadic. With my workouts, just limited, and now I'm back on it. Really started in like December. So December to now, I've been good. Almost have my strength back to where it was last year, but much faster running times. So yeah, I know you asked me what my goal is, but really just to stay consistent, keep getting better little by little. I don't know. I'm going to write some more specific goals out coming up soon. I've been thinking about it, but mainly just staying consistent.
That's, to be honest, that's a big theme that I've noticed with getting to talk to all of our athletes is it's not I want to run a mile in 5 minutes. It's I want to be consistent. I want to be healthy. I want to be ready, prepared, things like that. These overarching goals that aren't like a specific number or percent or anything like that. It's just more being well-rounded. And what challenges have you come across in being consistent?
I'm trying to think. There's always something else you can do, or you can just come home after work and sit on the couch, or the kids need something. And that's one thing. Like, so a lot of times I come home, my wife stays home with the kids. So I want to give her a break. It's hard for me to come straight to the garage and just leave her with the kids. So I don't know. We kind of got this routine, which my kids, they work out with me. So I've just learned to, some of my workouts might get interrupted because I have to deal with the kid in between or something, or I have to run with a stroller, which is fine. I just learned that, it's better to do that than to choose to just not work out at all.
That's awesome, man. Getting something done rather than nothing is always a good option. Now, you said you found CrossFit in 2015. What kind of ended that relationship?
A back injury. And it really just, there's nothing against them. It was all me, just poor form, not really knowing what I was getting into. And just, it was fun. I got really good at a lot of things pretty fast, but I wasn't focused on form. nearly as much as I should be. And then I happened to just, start doing the garage gym thing because one, I had kids on the way, and from a time standpoint, and then the money, it was like, I can pay $75 a month or buy a little bit of equipment and just work out at home for free and save all the time.
Yeah, and that's a big factor right there, time, money. Kids seem to be a huge motivating factor for most people headed towards the garage. Your time does get a little more truncated there. So how do you like it, man? You've been a garage gym athlete for a while. How do you like training in your garage?
I like it. Same thing. I'll go back to the endurance running. I mean, I've spent a lot of time training by myself per se, so that's not really an issue with me. But I will say, even now, I mean, just like running these intervals, which I'm about to run when we get off of this call, it's so easy. It's just, there's so much to do with the mental. I mean, like I can be running, sprinting, and just slowly start slowing down before I even notice it, or if I'm constantly talking to myself, I can make myself go much farther, faster. So it's just like day in and day out, it's kind of a mental thing, it's just, and with me, that part of being consistent, I want my mental state consistent. I need to focus each day, not just kind of get caught up in doing the routine just to be doing it.
Yeah, I got you. So are you saying when you have like some really good positive self-talk going, you can push yourself a little bit harder and go a little bit faster when you're more dialed in mentally?
Right. Or even, I can squat more if I'm really focused and talking to myself and saying, basically just believing in myself, is what I found.
Yeah, and I think that's a really big point, man, is bringing the intensity mentally. I think a lot of people overlook that, but it can be exhausting to try and do that every single day, especially at the end of a really long day or, long week trying to go through. So how often, I know you don't have the numbers or anything, but how often would you say that you are 100% with it, on point mentally, and then struggle? Is it like 50-50, or what do you think the breakdown is there?
Yeah, I'd say my goal was at least 50-50. I kind of, I know like week in and week out, the first 2 days, I kind of, if something came up or my workout was interrupted or, I know I didn't push myself, the next time it's like 2 days in advance, I'm already telling myself, all right, we got to make up for the first 2 days of the week. So this is going to be a good day. But yeah, so I'd say at least I shoot for at least 50%, hopefully 75%. And even, like you say, I don't want to, that doesn't mean I'm like 100% pedal to the metal, but if I know, all right, today's a 75% day, I want to make sure I'm giving that 75%, not 50.
Right. Mm-hmm. Given the max potential you should for that day, even if it's not max effort, just the best you can do that.
Right.
Got it, man. And so you've been training with us for a long time. What's your favorite thing about the training, man?
It's always different. It's same thing it's so funny when I try to tell people, like, because we do some weird stuff like an iron mile or whatever. But for most people, and I'm not from a military background, so it was all new to me at first. So I like all that stuff. It's different, It might be pick up a heavy kettlebell and go up and down the street with it. Just, you never know, and it's like, you don't know how challenging that is until you actually try to do it one time. So that's what I like.
Yeah, when I get asked like what kind of fitness and stuff I do, I kind of have to tailor that answer to whoever I'm answering it to. But
yes,
you can't just, sometimes you say strength and conditioning, but that's like a huge range of things that you can go. So it's like I do like, it's kind of like powerlifting, but it's not. But it's also like CrossFit, but it's not. And then I also do some other crazy things, and then I don't. And it's like
just say you do fitness. Yeah. I think that's the easiest way to answer. I do fitness.
Yeah, I'm trying to become harder to kill. That's it's a pretty good explanation.
That's the best explanation. All right, man. What's the hardest workout you've ever done?
Oh man, that's always an interesting question. I like that we have it, and it's always on your podcast. The way I think about it is, it's really anyone that, it's how hard you push yourself. But if I got to pick one, I'm going to go back to my track days. We used to do a workout it was called, my coach called it 6226. So it was 600 sprint, 50 meter slow jog, followed by a 200 sprint, 50 meter jog, 50 meter or 200 sprint, 50 meter jog, 600 sprint. So 6226. And then we would usually take like a 2-minute break in between and repeat that twice.
Yeah.
It's a short, simple workout, but the way we had to do it, I mean, and the whole thing was a sprint, when you take off at a fast pace and you pick up speed, the goal was to pick up speed the entire, whatever, if it was 200, you want to pick up speed the entire way. 600, you want to pick up speed the entire way so you finish running faster than when you started. But it was pretty grueling.
And that's a mile, right? That's a mile of sprinting right there.
Yeah. Yes.
Jesus.
Plus
Yeah,
the little jogs throws it over there, but wow.
Yeah.
50 meters is like nothing for a jog. You just jog that really slow.
Yeah, that's some real slow 50 meters, I bet.
And that workout, he usually saved that for towards the end of the season, but it was really meant to build your speed. I mean, we were distance runners primarily. I mean, the 3,200 meter run was my main event. So, but that workout will make you faster, like a sprint.
Yeah, dude. All right, in your opinion, what's the best activity for building mental toughness?
Something you guys talk about is basically if something comes in my mind and I don't want to do it, or I instantly have some fear or worry or something, I'm going to go do it. That's going to build mental toughness in me. Just like doing this podcast, I want to do it for a while and finally I'm like, what are you scared of? Just do it. It's just a conversation. So this is an example of mental toughness for me. It's just talking to you guys about this.
Yeah, dude, it's so true. It's just anything outside of your comfort zone, any little thing you see, that you need to be doing or could do, and you act on it. That builds your mental toughness slowly. So I'm glad you're building your mental toughness right now.
Yeah.
All right, dude, if you could only have one piece of equipment to train with for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I'll go with the barbell.
Barbell. We're pretty solid on barbell lately. That's awesome.
Up there.
Yeah.
It's pretty versatile.
I think I'm gonna have to start throwing in telling people to do adjustable dumbbells now that that's a thing.
Yeah.
It's almost like the same.
I mean, I think between all Better Humanology podcast episodes and all Garage Gym Athlete podcast episodes, barbell is by far the winner right now. But who knows? Maybe the kettlebell will make a comeback one day.
So if you could have one piece of equipment that's on your top of your wish list to add to your garage gym, what would that be?
A rower.
I was gonna say I didn't think I saw a rower. That's always the most wished for thing too.
Yeah, see, there's this little space over here that kind of has stuff that I want out of here. So there's two things. First, I'm gonna buy a storage shed from my backyard. I'm gonna get rid of that stuff, and then I'm gonna buy a rower. So I'm currently saving for those items.
Very nice.
Perfect. That's awesome, dude. All right, now last question of the show, man. What is the best advice you have for garage gym athletes out there?
These are already garage gym athletes?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to give multi-stage advice, people thinking about it, and then people who are, I'm down.
Yeah, basically, if you're thinking about it, just stop thinking about it and do it. It's awesome. If you're already doing it, just stick with it. If you're not doing it for a couple of days or something, it's a lifelong thing. I think for most people, if you decide to do this, that's the way you have to look at it. So think about it that way. And our community is awesome, so there's always people to talk to, Facebook group, whatever, but just stay focused and don't let one day get you down.
Awesome. Love it. All right, Joe, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I was kind of curious about because I think with the first person in Georgia, and you mentioned the variability in the weather before. Would you say you struggle more in the cold or the heat down there? Because I'm sure it gets real hot and real muggy, but you have your random cold days. So
yeah, I personally deal with the hot and mugginess better than the cold. So yeah, we get both. I mean, the cold here is different than really cold places, but I prefer the heat.
You have a fan in your gym?
Yeah, I have a little tiny fan right here.
Oh, nice.
Jeez. You gotta like hang that thing right in your face with the squat rack.
That's not even gonna blow a piece of
Yes.
paper down the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, open the doors, open the window, but yeah, it's really hot in here. It gets hot. So that might be another item that I will add as a bigger fan and maybe hang it from the ceiling or something. But so far, I've survived.
You know, one thing I find interesting is because we've had garage gym athletes from all over, hot Texas, hot Australia, and then cold, freezing cold, like Michigan, Minnesota people. And I haven't met anyone who's just like okay with the cold. Not even the people who are from like the coldest climates. You'd think they'd be like, I've gotten used to it. But I mean, I've never lived in an extremely cold climate, so I'm always interested to know when I talk to people. But there's nobody who's like, no, I've adapted pretty well. I think I enjoy the cold now. But I'm sure the heat must be tough for them. But anyway, thanks, man. I just found that curious, man. But it's been great talking to you, and thanks for being on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you guys. Keep doing what you do.